What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
I have Mr. Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to look at another section of collection critiques. If you'd like the uncut version of this, please check out the Patreon at $5 where you get this, Sit Down Saturday, tons of different reviews, etc., for just $5 a month. But tonight we are going to continue with the collection critiques, and you know the routine, check your feelings at the door, and we're going to start off in a pretty solid space. Honestly, with somebody I know, Bishop Russ, and he's got a pretty good setup, I think. The overall, let me say this, because I have a lot of positive to say here. But the overall space here, I actually think he didn't take great advantage of. But when you start moving into the individual setups, lights, dioramas, backdrops, he's done really good stuff.
I do see what you're saying, right? It's like, yeah, so the first photo of whatever the shelving unit is, but then you have these individual cubes that look really cool that have all these dioramas in it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the display for your displays needs to be updated.
Yes. Or the layout. Just like, I think even the display could work. It's just the layout where you have it in relationship to the room.
Right.
But like, he's got a lot of He-Man stuff.
And mirrors.
I have some criticisms of this, even though I think it looks good. He has these Castle Grayskull motifs, right? The gray walls with the brick stone, and all that's done out of foam, and he's cut out the bricks and put them on there to try to make it look cool, and I think it works. He's got these like kind of like pictures and paintings on the side wall of some like the old Masters of the Universe art that I think is cool.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But here's my issue. So if you look at the top layer, the riser for the second layer is probably 2 inches tall, and it's the same height for the lower layer, but the lower layer probably should only be 1 inch or maybe 1.5 inch tall so that you can see the head of the other characters because they're up too high. And it goes the same for the Snake Mountain set. Like, a lot of the characters look great on the top row, but when you get down to the second row, the riser is too high, where you can barely see the character. And a lot of times you can't see their heads. But I think you did a great job with those backdrops, with the dioramas.
You're talking about just from the angle standing, like if you're standing
if you
up
walk
in front
into,
of it, right?
if you walk into the room. Textures that he put on Snake Mountain walls, like the ropes. I don't know if he did that with hot glue or what, like, but they're like vines and stuff on the side of the walls.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that looks good. Let's talk about the Transformer shelf, because I think this is a pretty well done Transformer shelf.
Yeah, so I think it works too. He's painted the background. I'm going to tell you right after, I think I particularly am not a fan of whatever these plastic things are that you're using for risers, just because it looks too much like a food tray.
It does look like a food tray.
Yeah,
They are food trays.
I'm sure that's what they are. So that it throws me off, and I get it because it does have like an industrial look to it. So it kind of almost looks like. So I mean, I applaud your creativity, but I just think there's a better option out there that would elevate it.
But I don't know. I'm not mad at it. Like I think
it swoops.
No,
let me say this. I think that some of them are more effective than others. So like the circular ones that have like the indents in them, those to me are more off-putting. But the ones with like the grates in the side, I think work fine.
Swoops is like, I'm counting calories.
because it looks like he has one that I don't know if he just like glued something into it. The one with this Cheetor is standing on, if that's Cheetor, but it has like I don't know, some kind of weird thing. Looks like it's like pushed into it.
Yeah, I think he put something in the front of that one.
You're trying to hide it.
But look at it objectively, right? Like you just walk into this room, like don't zoom in, zoom out, right? You walk into this room, they're not overcrowded.
No, right. Yeah,
they're
not
lit. They take up the vertical space. There's actually room in most of them to put stuff in front of the stuff that's on risers.
They're
like
calorically responsible.
Like,
but dude, he put them in space. Like he painted the backgrounds of the shelves and stuff. Yeah, and even the lights are kind of like industrial.
Yeah.
Like this person has a theme going. You have a theme going.
I mean, it is a clever idea.
Yeah, it's well done. If you look at the one with like the Armada Megatron, the work that he put in on the space to display them elevates the quality of the character.
Yeah.
That's something I've been talking about for years. If you make a great space for mediocre characters to exist in, it will look amazing. Marvel Legends, when I was buying them, were $20 a pop. Nothing spectacular. And I put in a lot of effort. Laura helped me put in a lot of effort into the displays, and they look fantastic. It's the same thing here. Like, these are average pieces with really detailed, intricate, and backgrounds that required a lot of effort. And as a result, it did elevate the overall display. You take that Armada shelf with those same 4 characters and put them in 100 different displays that we've looked at over the course of the years that we've been doing this, and they look like trash. And this doesn't look like trash.
No, I like the lights. I feel like for such a dark shelf, they seem to light really pretty well, and they look like something you would see in some metallic spaceship or whatever it is you guys are.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints.
Right, yeah, they fit. It fits with everything. It fits. Everything works.
My biggest criticism are the second shelves down on your Masters shelves. You need to cut the riser in half height-wise. That's my only criticism. Moving on to the next one. This is Kevin W. Big space, nice floors, nice lighting.
It is a nice space. It looks new. It looks clean. You got new floors. You got nice floors and you know, and nice furniture and stuff. I just feel like it all needs to be organized. You threw it all in here without really giving it a lot of thought beforehand. I just feel like you went through IKEA and was like, yep, we need some of these. We need some of these. This looks good. This looks good. I like this. Let's take it. And then you got home and was like, all right, now what do I do with it?
So allow me to give a little pushback to that.
All right.
So I think he had some stuff already, and he tried to make it fit in this space once it was there.
Yeah.
And I think we see that where the desk is, and that piece of furniture that he has that's like black with glass to the left of it. But if
so
you
the only
look,
reason I disagree is that's a newer thing from IKEA. I think that whatever that cabinet is newer in their catalog.
If that's the case, then he's dead wrong. But if you look at like the place that's like all lit up, that's just boxes with lights, and he's got the Metroplex to the right, like that looks well done. And if you look at like the floating shelves, those look well done. He's got the Mortal Kombat stuff. He's got a couple extra Transformer stuff. If you look at like the space where he shows the fireplace with the TV in the background, like for the other side of those black pieces, like that looks a little bit better. The Scorponok standing on that one bookcase looks appropriate. Like I feel like some of this works extremely well, and some of this doesn't.
The black cases don't work.
The picture with the picture with the TV and the DTOFs have the same kind of DTOF issues. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them.
And I wish they were 2 on each side.
So why didn't he do 2 and 2 for 1? Yeah. But then on top of that, raise him up off the floor.
I mean, I guess because he wanted the TV centered on his couch.
And the couch had to be to the right.
But it's not centered on the wall.
The couch had to be pushed over to allow a path to walk on the side.
I think you would.
I would have.
No, I would say I just think he would rather have had central seating to his.
Laura, there's not a universe that exists where you would allow the TV not to be centered on the wall. No, go ahead and just put the TV wherever.
You're right. I didn't realize it was closed in.
Okay, well, that's the issue.
Look at the photo with the back of the couch, and you can see what's going on with the couch. It's the back of the couch and the TV, and you can see like it's got this brick wall that it has a fireplace in it that he built as like a feature wall, and he's not using it as the feature.
It looks great. By the way.
Yeah, no, it looks good, but that's kind of the issue. So I would have rather have you seen you put the TV even over more to the right and put all 4 DTOFs on one side. And just made like a corner nook where that TV rested. I think he did. I like how you have the combiners all at the bottom of your DTOF, at least for the 3 that are together.
Yeah, I actually think they look really good down there. Like, excuse me, pardon me. Like, they
they look good. I would argue that so he did that by customizing the shelves, and then he has these little shelves that look awkward.
Empty Starscream looks stupid.
Yeah, the Starscream looks stupid.
The alt modes are cool, but that's
the problem with DTOFs. Like you've encountered the problem with DTOFs like right here, but like the ones that you've altered where they're not DTOFs anymore are the only parts that look good.
Yeah, because the space is small. You need to kind of then play with the spacing for the other ones.
Yeah.
But you're onto something though. You're building on something. You just need to build up those other 2 levels.
Yeah. But like I like that you've lit a lot of this stuff. I like that there's some variation in furniture. I like the accent wall. I like a lot that you've done here. It's just like, are you married? That's my biggest question. Because I feel like if you were married, your wife would have corrected some of these basic issues, like centering that TV. Like my wife would have corrected it.
Yeah, Sarah would have too. She'd be like, no, you can't do that. With something where I'd be like, why? What's the big deal? And she would have come in and be like, no, you can't do that. That just doesn't look great.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I agree. There's no art on the wall too. Not that there needs to be, but like I think it's just missing life element.
But just if they were to get art, where would you recommend them get some art from?
Oh, if you could, I know a few people. DMH sells some.
There's
that's
Crash
one of-
And what's up with this
Customs.
cord? What's up with this cable that's running across the middle of the room? That's how I know this guy's not married.
I just want to say
No
that
woman in their right mind would ever let some cable run across the
that's
floor.
also true. That's also true.
I hate to see a cable.
It's true. Little things, right? Like, here's where I think this
Got
dude has
download.
real promise. He's got the couch. He's got the little bench behind the couch, which in my mind probably holds some blankets and stuff for like watching a movie and all that. And I think that's great. Then he's got these
Right.
two little stands on the side. The stands, the one that we can see kind of prevalently has a little book on it, the Akira book. I think that looks
Akira,
great.
yeah.
And then above that, it has Scorponok standing there purposefully, with no given due to dust, just boldly saying, here's a good looking character in an appropriate space and I respect it.
Well, hold on one second. Just underneath the Scorponok in the Akira book, this is what my mind thinks of as I see the tags hanging off the couch. Like, cut those things off.
They're driving me
Little things like that
bonkers.
is shit that I
illegal.
pay attention to.
Or tape
Not
it-
illegal,
or
but
tape- or-
not once you own it, it's not illegal.
Tape it up
Totally
to the
illegal.
bottom of the couch so that they're not dangling.
Yeah.
I think we need to pay a little bit more attention to this one picture that he has of like the Billies with the glass doors on them. So I just want to highlight one thing. I've been critical of people that do this. So he has two big Billies with one little Billy in the center, and they all have glass doors on them. And the big Billies are split down the center. And some of them look ridiculous for the split down the center, which has been my biggest criticism regarding this look.
Yeah.
But then he's done some clever things with other ones. Look at the headmasters. He's clearly put two Decepticon headmasters
Oh, right.
on one side, two Decepticon headmasters on the other side, and he's made it seem
Right.
as though they're two separate cabinets.
Right, like a calyx.
Yep.
You have to embrace that split.
Exactly. If you embrace the split, it works. If you look at like some of the other ones, like the Constructicons and stuff, like he doesn't embrace the split in the same way. He's
No.
trying, but it doesn't work, right?
You got to move
Like,
the energon cubes, separate them out to the outside corners.
but that's the problem with addressing it this way. But I think he at least understands the principles of it.
I will say though, I think that you need to take whatever these lights are that you have in the detail need to be the same lights in the Billy bookcase.
Maybe.
You know, I just feel like it's like
The pucks.
those lights are too dim for the display
Yeah.
unless
Maybe.
they're adjustable.
Maybe. Let's move on to the next one. This is Josh H. Moody.
All right, Josh, what you got?
It's Moody. Oh, second picture. Look at all of those framed backdrops of the G1 box art against that couch.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's cool because it matches too, like just the colors and everything kind of matches what he's got in the next photo with the details.
I love that.
I don't know if it's at a painted wall behind it.
Yeah, the color. Are you talking about all the colors?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild looking. I would normally
kinda
not
like-
like that many colors, but it actually looks cool.
I think he's thematically going with that backdrop. And like the Detolfs, listen, I think the Detolfs, if I was to critique this in a vacuum, I think they're a mess. But I think he's purposefully trying to make the Detolfs look like the backdrops of the box art.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of works.
Yeah,
Because it's all like that spacey theme. So you
Yes.
got like those
But it-
cosmic colors and
But
stuff.
if he hadn't had those posters to kind of drive the point home, it would
Yeah.
miss.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, this is somebody who took a theme and ran with it and just made it work.
I
You
love
know?
how he made it a large scale backdrop.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's right because it's wrong.
And,
Yeah.
and it's wild because that's a risky move. Like you just
It's
took a big
very
risk.
risky.
Yeah. Because I think it's like wallpaper, even like you're looking at the stuff behind the couch, but look
Oh,
at
it may be.
to the left of the couch, it looks like it's like wallpaper around the window, and it's wild. If you were like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna put up this wallpaper that looks like a space theme that's brown," I'd be like, "Dude, you're crazy." With this blue trim, I'd be like, "You're crazy."
This guy
But-
laid.
Yeah.
I do want to critique something. He's got this Thomas the Tank Engine going on with his arc, like in front of the couch, like with the
Isn't
Omega
that
with the Omega
Is that an
Supreme.
Omega Supreme thing?
Yeah, but it's a Guardian. But like, if you're gonna go that route, I don't think you're wrong for going that route. But make it less Thomas the Tank Engine and make it more of a diorama and introduce some Legends figures into this space.
It's the green table.
Yeah.
It's the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If the table wasn't green, it would
Yeah.
work a lot better.
agreed.
I do agree. You have an opportunity to make that table way more interesting.
Each Detolf, what I'm looking at, maybe there's a one-off somewhere, but he's got the vertical space handled,
Yeah,
and there's
I was going to say
there's
the same.
not a lot of front and back crowding going on.
Yeah, but it's also messy.
I don't know.
And
if
I'm
I
not
think
talking about
it's
I'm not talking about the
messy.
soccer player.
And and that's where it comes into play with the backdrop, because it looks like a bunch of guys flying in space.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you had a blank backdrop against this, you'd be like, it's just stuff everywhere. It's just it doesn't seem purposeful enough, but it does work. I'm giving him it is a compliment. I'm just letting him know, had he not put in the thought to make this what it is, I would have been on him. But because he did put in the thought, I do appreciate it.
I would say the worst part about this display is the big bots on top, ironically, at this point.
But only on that, not where the Unicron is, only on that other one. It's the Metroplex Triptychon. It's that one on top that I don't think.
But that's a lighting issue. That's a lighting issue.
It could be a lighting issue. It could be a lighting issue. Just a photo issue.
Had he not included that one, the picture with the couch is the picture that sells it to me. Because you could have, the average person would have put more toys there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you chose not to. You chose like, look, I want to celebrate this box art, and I want to create a room that feels like this box art, and that's not lost on me.
Yeah, I love that box art. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love that.
All right, last one for the night. This is from Luke. So
it's all right.
So here's the truth. It is all right. It's clean.
No, it ain't.
No, listen. Look at it. Like, all right. So you tell me what's bad about it.
Look at the prime. Look at the big-headed prime.
So I think the large pieces at the bottom look a little bit weird.
Dude, I don't have any issues with those.
I don't know. I feel like
look at the big head prime.
For them to take up a little too much.
I'm with Robert. I think the biggest issue here, I have two. One is the big head prime at the top. It doesn't fit the motif. And the other one is you have a Soundwave focus shelf, which I think is cool in theory, but because this is such a symmetrical display, right? You got lights on both sides. You got two things on top on both sides. You got two big things at the bottom on both sides. The fact that you had this one super uber crowded shelf on one side that I do think looks good. Like, I don't think you have a problem. I think this Soundwave shelf looks great. But on the other side, you need to have something else that matches it.
Yeah. No, because you gotta super deformed Soundwave, right? If you're gonna do super deformed prime, you need your super deformed Soundwave on the top right. Your Soundwave belongs up there, but then you got a problem. What do I do with all these Soundwaves? I don't know. That's your problem.
If you could mount the TV up higher and then use the top shelf for some, like maybe that prime and that other Soundwave they have on top would work. You just have to make sure to hide those wires.
That's
that you could run them behind the thing.
That's the answer. That's the answer.
And I don't like how he has his DVD player with a little Cybertron Bumblebee on it, and then nothing underneath, and then he's got two shelves to the right with figures.
So that's the problem. Is this whole display is sharp, right? It's almost like American Psycho sharp, but like it's all based on symmetry.
There's no symmetry.
And the only thing that's not symmetrical are a couple shelves. You fix the symmetry of the couple shelves, you fix the problem.
Right. You even have like two floor lamps. You're right. Like you have everything so balanced, and you are missing the fact that the shelves aren't balanced. Also, you need some art. I recommend some art.
Where would you get that from?
Oh, so Robert, do you know where he could get some art?
Beautiful art.
There's some good stuff on there.
His issue is symmetry. So his display furniture, he's like, I'm going symmetrical. I'm a psychopath. And then with his figures, he's like, what's symmetry?
No, I got to interject because I feel like the top two shelves, not the stuff that's sitting on top of the bookcases, but the top two shelves are fine symmetrically. The second shelves down are fine symmetrically. Third shelves, not okay. Fourth shelves, kind of okay. And then the stuff underneath the TV, you have two shelves worth of stuff on one side. Why not just split those up on both sides? Like, it's little stuff like that. Put a PlayStation where the one thing is next to your DVD player, and then put the two toys on the bottom shelves on both sides. Like, it's little things. Like, just it's so anally symmetrical that it needs to completely be symmetrical in order to work or rethink it.
I mean, he's got two remote controls that he placed symmetrically around his television.
Exactly. Let me draw your attention to just the Soundwave shelf. You know why it works?
Because it's a mess in the back.
The pyramid. Look at the top of the Soundwave head with the three tapes. Like, that's a good looking Soundwave shelf. The problem is when you look at the whole picture, it's too busy in comparison. But like
two super deformed Soundwaves on that shelf.
But that's really, you're right. But that's really well done. That's really well done. It's really well laid out. Yeah. Just make it more symmetrical.
Kang Toys Ravage.
Yes. Need to see some oregano. and some Thomas the Tank Engine photos.
I'm trying.
Mr. Peanut, because we're gonna see Mr.
I feel
Peanut
like
soon.
you're
And the
always
link-
breaking him.